Hello and welcome back to the Remembering Tuscola webcast. I'm David Porter. I'm here with Bill Englehardt and Mike Buttercup Carroll.
Buttercup.
Buttercup.
You told me to you told me to build you up.
I said, butter me up, cup.
Build me up, Buttercup.
Buttercup, butter me up,
Oh,
cup.
that's a good.
That's a good
nickname.
one, Dave.
I'm gonna stick by that one.
Yeah, Dave and his.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you, David.
Buttercup Carroll.
Buttercup.
And
Yeah.
Bill
Englehart.
would be more of a alliteration with Buttercup. Bill Buttercup Englehart. That may sound better
There's
even.
probably about 5 variations on Englehart. We used to call him Ingo, Englehart.
How about Mike Buttercup Carroll and Bill Baby Cakes Englehart?
Baby cakes. Wow. That sounds like a gangster of the 30s.
How about beefcake? That'd be good. You're
Beefcake.
Yeah.
beefcake.
I like
Bill
that.
Beefcake Englehart.
Don't mess with beefcake.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Even high school was Bull. Who gave you that name? Marty?
No, it came out of grade school.
Oh, you beat people up a lot? Or
I
what?
was a big bully.
Oh, yeah. That was the
I
word.
wasn't nice to anyone.
No, that's what I heard down in Golconda. They made you move. Your dad had to find work up here. Okay, David.
Yeah, I picture Bill as a bully for sure.
He's a gentle giant. I'll tell you that. Strong as a bull, like his dad.
We'll see the pictures.
So we'll take a look here.
What era?
1921.
No, I think they're mostly 65.
Ooh.
This is some from similar to last week's.
Good year, Becky.
Oh, there's
Oh
Bob
my God, look
Bob
at it. Jack
Stallsworth.
Wellens.
Bill Roach,
Gee, Minnie.
Jack
Am I on the
Wells.
right
Happy
page?
Jack. Let me get this up here so we can see.
Stallsworth, Linda Brown.
This wasn't the right picture. I'm wondering if I'm on the wrong
Thompson.
file.
We should know this guy here. Who is that guy?
Well, I don't know him.
We should know him.
I
There's
know.
Marge Thompson down
That's
lower
Mrs.
right.
Thompson, yeah.
Middle is Linda Brown.
Hey, look, they were having pie.
Upper left is Bob Stallsworth, Bill Roach. Not sure. Jack Wellens, police chief.
This is Mrs.
Oh.
Anderson. That's Ted Anderson's
Is this
wife.
Harry German on the right?
Well, it looked like him. He's got a bow tie on. That's Mrs. Anderson, Ted's wife.
Oh, and that's
There.
Ted right there in the third one.
Is it?
Third one in is
It
Ted with the
really
flat.
doesn't look like him that much.
Well,
Hmm.
I'm gonna say
Jack Wellens. What a
Yeah.
nice fellow.
Happy Jack.
Jack was the manager of the Tigers in Little League.
Yes, he was. Nice guy.
Yeah, really a nice fellow.
Good photo.
Boys, it's time to go home. He was good. He was a good police chief.
Yeah, he's a reasonable police chief.
Oh, yeah, he was. Wonder whatever happened to him.
Lost track of him.
Yeah, me too.
Well,
My dad bought the used police car, that tan 61 Ford supercharger. That's when I drove to Charleston with you guys in about 12 minutes.
I accidentally
I went through the I-30, I-33 interchange at 125 mile an hour. Mark Bright was screaming in the back.
started the pictures backwards, so I'm going in reverse.
Oh, that's great.
Bob Hastings, Tom
Keith
Powell,
Tingley.
Tom Powell,
Right.
left to right, Bob Hastings, Tom Powell, Leonard Owens, Waldo Ball.
Waldo and Jack Wellens, Keith Tingley, and who is that?
Who is that? Don't know the last guy.
This is Ambucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keith Tingley might have been national president of
Mhm.
Ambucks.
Who'd you say was number 3?
Leonard,
That's Raymond Owens.
Raymond Owens. Leonard's his dad. I said Leonard.
Yeah, I
It's
think you said Leonard is right. Yeah. Well, Michener got them all except the last one too. So
Who did?
Alan Michener.
Yeah.
He wants to be on the show.
We ought to get him on. I don't know why he's not here.
We ought to.
He and Taylor.
Yeah.
Ralph Allen.
I saw Bob the other day. He said there's a bunch of them gonna take a trip somewhere,
Yeah.
and he wants to see if we could work it out, get them all on the show at the same time.
The couple on the far right is Ray and Betty Carlson.
Mhm.
Yeah, I recognize them.
Yeah.
Ralph Allen, his wife. Now, who is the middle?
Well, you know what? I think he worked at FS, but I can't. He's a young man there. I don't know.
Michener know the middle one?
Well, I'm looking here. Looks
Let's
like,
not give Metzger too much credit.
Well, he needs something.
Well, that's true.
the names I have online are the same ones you got.
Same picture.
Same picture,
That's,
going the wrong way.
Going
you know
wrong.
why I'm going the wrong way.
Yeah, you got it backwards.
Yeah, I gotta hit the back button instead of the forward button.
That's, the big tall fellow is Dwayne Bruce.
Our neighbor on
Mhm.
Scott Street, but
And-
that's not his wife. I don't
Oh,
think.
Marcy Shoemaker says Mr. and Mrs. Bruce Center.
Well, I guess it is his
Yes,
wife, but it doesn't
Mrs.
look like.
Bruce, she
Is
taught
this-
school.
Hey, Becky, does this look like Mrs. Bruce?
She taught second grade.
We lived next to him. They lived in Dr. Lossman's house. That's Dwayne, but.
Yeah.
look
Well,
like-
when she was younger, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's it. She was
Oh, yeah.
younger.
She was younger then.
We
Yeah,
all were younger at
Thanks,
one time.
Beck.
When she lived next door, she.
Myron and Nola Pangburn.
Pangburn, and who's on the right?
Marcy
Oh, that's
Shoemaker says,
Waykazer. That's Waykazer's on the right.
point for Bill.
Point for Bill. She ended up teaching at Paris Crestwood. She was teacher here for a long time too.
Where'd he work at?
Well, can't remember.
There's the mighty Kreskin,
Yeah,
Larry
that's
Kersine
Kreskin.
on the left. And his wife.
Oh, man.
Come on, we
Boy,
should-
when you see these pictures after 60 years, and we know him.
Well, they're younger.
Well, yeah, I know, but
How do you pronounce her first name?
Riadon,
Riadon.
Riadon.
She was an Atwood girl. Riadon. Oh, what was her Atwood name? Her maiden name?
I can't.
Her Atwood name.
What was her Garrett name?
Did she have a Tuscola name?
Well, Tuscola, she became a Christine.
Yeah.
Riadon. Her
The only
sister,
name I got.
she has a sister over there.
Patrick Quinn looks like his grandfather
Yes.
there.
The mighty Kreskin. we called him.
Gosh, I did he have something to do with cars? I wonder.
Yeah. Well, there we go, the Webbers. And
Yeah, Junior and Betty Weber are in the middle. This is the guy over here we don't know.
I wonder if he's from Hugo.
Might be.
On the left, should we know that guy?
Oh, yeah, but can't remember. Hey, by the way, you want a little piece of trivia, David?
No.
Junior Weber was on guard duty at
The
Bastogne,
Battle of the Bulge.
and he was at the tent of the headquarters, and in walks Patton
Larry Patton?
and Larry Patton. And General Patton, who saluted him. I remember them telling a story about
Yeah, he was in the
that.
Battle of the Bulge, trapped in there. His brother, Quentin, who just loved to death, Quentin was a Navy SEAL,
Well, Navy, Quentin was smart.
but he was a SEAL.
Yeah. Well,
That was tough.
he did a lot of,
He was a tough guy.
he was, yeah.
Oh, great family. All the
Webbers,
all the Webbers
good
were the
people.
salt of the
Everett.
earth. You talk about what made America great. Just look at the
Yeah,
Weber brothers.
yeah. Betty Weber was a good golfer.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, hey, there we
hey,
go.
We are young people.
Young people,
This is at Kaskaskia Country Club.
back when they looked younger.
Back when they looked younger.
Got any names on this one? These are Arcola people.
Is this Kaskaskia or is it the
Could be
Elks?
Rockin' Rodney's,
Yeah, they had a fireplace like that.
yeah, limestone,
Okay,
probably Rockin' Rodney's.
probably. Is this prom? What is this?
Got
Which
any
is
names?
going to be the breakfast place now.
Well, they had a big roll. Becky and I drove by today. They got a huge roll off, taking stuff out. That place was perfectly new.
Yeah, it was pretty new.
I don't know.
What are they tearing out?
They had, what's that, All Pro?
Yeah, what in the world?
They had about 45 trucks
When that
there.
guy bought that place, All Pro came in.
Yeah.
4 years ago, they put $1 million
Well,
bucks
they had
in
to
it.
put more in it.
Holy cow!
This girl here in the front looks familiar.
Arcola girl.
Must be. Any names?
Nope, didn't have any on that one.
There we go.
Okay,
Oh, that's Hooker on the left, isn't it?
that's, yeah, that's Hooker on the left. And the Stallsworths and the Flumes.
Yeah, Walt and
Herschel Hooker.
That's Herschel, isn't it? Am I right
Mhm.
on that?
Mm-hmm.
Steve and Candy's parents?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Steve was my class. Candy was about 62 class. 61 too.
Yeah, she was.
Meredith Newman guy. Who was that?
Got it. Who did she marry?
Oh, that's from Newman, but maybe I'm wrong.
Okay, so
Palin Hooker-
who did you
Palin-
have?
Palin Hooker Chevrolet. What?
Who did you have on the left
Hooker?
Herschel Hooker.
and center?
Bob
And
Stallsworth.
his wife. And then Walt Flume and his wife Gwendolyn. I think Gwendolyn, wasn't there Gwen?
Something like that.
Harry Flume's parents.
Mrs. Stallsworth worked at
Yeah.
Seymour for years, and
Yeah.
her son's in
Phil.
my class, Phil Stallsworth, class of 66.
We had some misidentification online, but Bob Butterback had them,
Well,
had the right ones.
did Bob agree with us?
Yep.
Bob's a smart guy.
Bob follows the leader.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's Raymond Lee Jr. down in the middle of the table with his
Mhm.
wife.
With his head down.
Head down, praying. That's not Ryan, is it?
No.
That's the only name I had.
There's Keith, national president of ABC. And there's Keith's wife was sister to Mary Kay Lamb, I think,
I think you're right.
and lived about a block apart. Keith was always in a good mood, great guy.
Nice guy.
I think, unfortunately, he became president of ABC and he traveled a lot, and that hurt his business a lot, his printing business, I think. I remember he paid a price for that. That is Wayne Brown and Linda Brown.
Well, that is Wayne, isn't it?
Mhm.
And who's on the far right?
Jack Wellens.
Jack Wellens,
On
police
the-
chief.
On the left is Wayne Brown and half a picture of his wife, Linda.
Bill, I gotta give the points to Mike on this one.
Well,
Oh,
give him
yeah.
the bill.
Yeah.
I'm feeling good.
It's all right. The pie looks like maybe that's Sherry,
Yeah.
possibly.
Okay, yeah. Could be peach,
Could
could
be
be apple,
Not light enough.
gooseberry,
could be apple.
gooseberry.
I
Because
suppose.
it's not eaten.
gooseberry.
I'm rather envious. Wow.
Okay.
That's in the center here in the black is Sadie Beasley and her husband sitting next to her. That's Bob Beasley's parents.
Jack Beasley,
Yeah.
smiling with a big smile.
Looky here.
Ken Kegley.
Ken,
And there's your mom and dad, Becky. Come here.
Yeah. Yeah.
You found Becky's mom and dad?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
Second row,
Mm-hmm.
no, no,
second, there's first, there's
no,
second,
the second table,
second table. Or second row is
second
people
row
with
table.
high education, they'd say.
By rows of tables.
Yeah,
Ken was Raritan boy.
You gotta remember two rules, Becky. The
What's
first
that?
rule is Mike is never wrong.
I know the rule.
Second rule is you are wrong if you disagree with Mike.
And the second rule is if Mike's wrong, refer to rule 1.
Well, you know, as a lawyer, you have to exude confidence
Yeah.
in a courtroom. Even if you don't know what you're saying, you've got to say it with tremendous conviction.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just legal training. Here we go. Give me five. Give me five.
Dale Bateman
Dale Bateman.
handing a trophy to that young man.
It looks like a pig's tail over on the left. It was a whole.
John Bundy's right over his
John
shoulder.
Bundy's in the middle.
Those are the only names I had
Yeah.
from Marcy.
My
Oh,
goodness
my
gracious.
gosh, holy cow. Bring it home, mama.
This must have been quite the gathering.
ABC was Tuscola's gone through different periods where different groups, ABC dominated for a long time.
And there's
Rotary
the
was,
fireplace, so that is the Elks.
that's the Elks. Rockin', I think Rotary dominated in the 70s and 80s. I think Kiwanis is probably the dominant club now.
Probably, yeah.
There's Walt Flume again
Mhm.
and Gwendolyn,
Myron Penguins.
Myron Pangburn again.
Okay, Bob Zimmerman says 3 rows back, left to right, Harry and Mary Lou Little, Marie and Al Zimmerman.
Where? 1, 2, 3. Well, that's Walt Flume and Gwendolyn if the third row. Who's he have next?
Rows back, 1, 2, 3. That's why he
Who's
had.
talking this row here?
Oh, that's the second row.
Yeah, well, 1, 2, 3.
This is
Mike's
3.
looking at rows of tables again.
Yeah, I'm looking at
Yeah,
rows
your
of
rows
table.
of tables.
That's what intelligent people do. Who does he say on third row?
Harry and Mary Lou Little and Marie and Al Zimmerman.
That's Harry Little. That
Uh-huh,
does look
yeah.
like Harry Little.
And Zim says, cool to see a picture from inside the Elks. Luann Hoey says Dick and Kay Lake in the bottom left corner and Doc and Pat Gailey next table in the far right.
Yeah,
That is Dick Lake.
yeah.
Wavy hair. Played golf with him. I
What?
played golf with Junior and Betty Weber too.
Pilot, good carpenter.
P-51 pilot, fighter pilot.
Rudy Huber says Myron and Nola Pangburn, Mr. Bruce, head table, Ray and Billy Lee, Bill and Donna Roach, Bill Alvis.
Bill Alvis ran the standard station where Bob is now. Where Bob's been
Yeah.
forever.
That was the dominant club in the 60s and even going into the 70s was ABC.
Mhm.
We'll have to do points, you guys versus the world. See who,
Well, the world's been losing for the last 2 years. So
yeah, you guys have been beating them here lately.
okay, there's Jan Jameson on the left. Is that Greg Skinner next to Jan Jameson?
Mm.
That's
On the
Jan.
back with his hand on
Take your
Jan
hand.
is Pat Berg from Atwood. He drove livestock truck for Ira. Ira Jameson's on the far right.
This is Ira's hog business. And
Yeah.
there's Jan and his younger brother.
Younger brother, short guy there is Greg Jameson.
Who's this guy? I mean, it looked like
Well, I know it.
looked like Gus Skinner, doesn't it? A little bit, but Gus never worked out there, did he?
Greg
No,
Brewer says on the right is Ira Jameson.
Right.
yeah.
Jan
Yep.
Jameson, front left, Greg Jameson, middle.
That was tough work wrestling those.
They didn't get Pat Berg though, did they?
Oh,
See, I remember he drove that, he was killed in a driving for Ira Jameson.
so, another point for Beefcake and versus the world.
Buttercup.
Buttercup,
Tell you who that looks like.
Baby Cake.
Looks like Larry, yeah.
You know, that could be Larry Allen. It does look like Larry Allen. Did Larry work out there?
I don't know.
Third person left might be Larry Allen. Looks a little bit like. Who knows?
Probably not.
Who knows? There they are again. There's Wib Flume in the middle, sitting on the rail.
Mm-hmm.
Wilbur Flume.
Well, that's Williamson. Bob Williamson standing there.
Second from left.
Yeah, second from the left.
Why is he holding this guy's arm?
Well, the guy's about ready to fall down.
Were they a couple?
I don't know. No. Bob Williamson, his son Doug works at the schools now. Doug's wonderful custodian, been there for years. And Bob was really a nice fellow.
well, maybe there's a family relationship. Looks young, like maybe a son.
I hang on to Mike after he has some of his episodes.
We're holding hands right now, David.
Yeah.
Bill's afraid of falling off his chair.
Well, I can't see your hand, so I'm going to take your word for it, Mike.
Trust me.
Who is that?
That's
guy?
what you're holding.
You know, that looks like, oh gosh.
No, I can't do it.
I'm gonna, you guys tied the world over here, but I'm gonna say the tie goes to you guys
Thank you.
because there's fewer of you, and
You ever feel like the whole world's against you?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, there we go.
Well, that's a Sarah Romine in the back
Back
middle.
middle. Is that Bob?
So that would be her dad.
Bob?
I forget which one's the dad, but Sarah is now Sarah Cannon down at Hugo. She was a wonderful teacher at Gold Grove for many years.
well,
How we doing?
the internet didn't have any names, so you won that one.
Well, thank you.
I got a lot of comments on this one.
A lot of pig auctions. Let me see here. That looks like.
The one
Is that Reinhardt? And that's
Barry Kleiss.
Barry
It looks
Kleiss,
like.
Reinhardt, and there's the other Reinhardt, isn't it? Terry?
Oh, Terry, that's Terry. Across from them in the tan coveralls is Ellery Easton.
Tall guy's a Ron. That Merle Ron, the tall guy with
Might
the dark
be.
hat.
Might be, but that's Ellery Easton.
So we got Merle Ron, Ellery Easton, Terry Reinhardt. What was the younger the football coach? Reinhardt. Terry was the older brother.
Rick.
Rick Reinhardt.
And here's someone in a leather jacket. I think it's
and there-
me.
and there's Barry Kleiss back in
Barry
the-
Kleiss
right.
back there.
We got
yeah.
5 names, I think.
I think you guys did better. Marcy says Terry and Rick Reinhardt on the right, Merle Ron and wife in line on the left. And yeah, Terry Reinhardt says that's his dad Eugene on face left. Steve Reardon says Elraw Easton next to
Ellery,
Merle
yeah.
Ron.
That's Ellery.
And Merle Ron, big tall drink of water.
And Kathy Hanner says maybe Barry Kleiss far right.
Yeah, see? Boy, it takes 5 people to do what you and I can do.
Well, that's
Yeah,
what I'm-
Rudy Huber says looks like lunch at a winter farm auction in the
Oh, really? Really? Really, Rudy? Looks like a table with stuff on it. Looks
Look
like
at
they're in a building. Looks like they're in some kind of building.
look at the prices.
Looks like they're all still alive. Do I get a point for that?
Hot dogs, 20 cents, potato chips, nickel. What's that? Ham?
Ham sandwich
Yeah.
for 30 cents. Pie for 20 cents.
Those were good days.
Tater
believe
chips,
me.
tater
No
chips. are
wonder
fun.
we like those times.
Yeah, well, who wouldn't? They're all alive. They're on the earth. There's the pig hollering contest, and he's trying to get his pig to come to him.
That's first prize.
Yeah, he's showing him what he won.
Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah, because the
He
pigs.
was that was the prize porker right
I
there.
think he's really impressed with his new ribbon.
Yes, he is.
You guys should know who that is.
Well, that looks like. Is that Bob?
Is it a banker?
No.
Mike's on to it.
Bob Williamson?
That's who we've got online.
I hope Doug gets to see that.
Well, I hope I get the point. Who cares
You
about
get the
Doug's hand?
point. You get the point.
I don't care
See,
about- I don't care
there's
about-
a compassionate side of me.
No,
And
competitive.
you're just,
I'm competitive. I'm getting that damn rebound.
well, I remember.
I don't care.
I know you didn't care. Go get it. Now there's this guy that Bob Williamson's holding on to. Who is that?
Well,
He's got his feet together and saying something.
he's military attention.
I wonder if
Parade
he's,
rest.
he may not be well. Guy in the hat looks like Harlan Henderson,
No, it could be. Is that Holmes?
Stetson.
Is that a Holmes?
I don't know.
John Pangburn says Harlan Henderson second from right, but he's got a question mark, so he's
I
not.
think
entirely
it's,
sure.
that's what Harlan looked like at the end of his life.
It looks like Harlan to me.
Yeah, but this is like, what,
This is-
50 years old?
Long before he died.
Maybe it is.
It
The
could
colonel.
be.
He's a Kentucky colonel.
Is that
Gary-
Ira Jameson there?
I don't think so.
Gary Brewer says Ira Jameson on the left.
See?
I agree.
Now there was,
Bill came
Ira
up with it.
it was really, Ira and Ruth Jameson, just really fine people. And Ira had was very special. He dealt with cattle, he dealt with hogs and everything, but basically he was blind.
Yeah.
Remember? He
Yeah.
wore those Coke
They
bottle
lived on,
glasses.
they lived on Pembroke Street. We talk
Mhm.
about the old North Ward,
Yeah.
North Ward Square. Lived on
But-
Pembroke. There was Kitty Quiche, and then there was Maddox's,
Mhm.
and then there was Jameson's.
Or maybe that's why he was holding on to the other one.
And then across the street, there was Jimmy Glenn,
Yeah.
Nucio's. That was
Yeah.
quite a street right
That's
there.
quite straight. Well, anyway, Ira built the new stockyards. The old ones was where FSS is now,
Right.
but
Went out
he-
near USI.
near the plant, near Cabot, and he had a stockyard out there. But his thing was, he'd just go up and feel the
Yeah.
animals and could tell you good, bad, or indifferent.
I did that with dates and it never worked. It only works with animals.
Yeah.
Trust me. There's Dale Bateman.
Dale Bateman.
Don't know who that is on the ground.
Me neither.
Dale's the only name I had.
Hmm. Trying to figure out this cap or hat or what is that?
Well, looks like a coonskin hat.
Yeah, that's Davy Crockett.
Yeah.
There in the middle. It is a coonskin cap
That's Davy's great grandson.
Do I get a point?
for recognizing a coonskin cap.
Well, no
Look
one
at
else
the,
knew it
zero
was.
in again. That's not a coon's face. Zero in again. That's a cat they killed. Put on
A
his head.
raccoon or a
That's a
cat.
dog. That's a dog. That's
That's not.
that's Shep, the dog. Look at that face.
And
He's
what's
wearing a
this?
dog.
What's this screen up here?
Speaker. That's a
That's a
speaker.
Oh,
speaker.
speaker?
And they're inside what's called a building with lights. Did Rudy get that?
No.
Hello, Rudy. Okay.
Well, it's not backing up. There we go.
Are these all going to be the hog auction?
Well, that's
Well-
the boy, the tall boy over here in white. It looks like that's Alan Siebens. And the kid that looks like Steve Waters in a
Steve
way.
Warder on the right with the paper. And this is, I can think of his name, House. Is
Mike?
that Mike House?
I don't think so. But that is Alan Siebens.
And Steve Waters.
Well, Steve Reardon says second from right is Malcolm McGuire. Probably some relation to you.
Well, I've never heard of Malcolm McGuire.
And Rudy Huber says that's Harlan Henderson in the ring.
He's weird. I just didn't recognize him.
Anyone get the boys?
Well, yeah, we had Mark Toomey had Alan Siebens, and Kathy Hanners had Steve Waters.
Right.
Anybody get Mike House?
Nope.
Might be a reason why.
Might not, yeah.
Okay. Well, are these all going to be hog auction?
No, they're not all hog auctions, but we got a few of them.
There's Alan Stevens bending over. Behind him, that might be Mickey McGuire if he's thinking of, I never heard of Malcolm. Yeah,
Is Mickey a nickname for Malcolm?
have no idea.
Well, internet
Malcolm
didn't have any names.
It's from Newman. Farm boy. This is FFA judging, some sort of thing, I bet.
Well, there's an FFA jacket.
Mhm. That looks like Buckshot O'Brien with the jacket. But he'd been way out of high school by then.
Oh, yeah, he was
Looks like Buckshot.
long gone.
This looks like it might be the last hog auction picture.
Okay, there's the three boys over there.
Yeah, but I can't.
Zero in on the three boys.
I want to try to get that middle boy
Steve
because we got the
Waters,
other two were easy.
Steve Waters, Alan Siebens, and what's his name?
That's what he went by.
Larry, what's his name? Okay. Oh, boy.
This is on the far right. Well, this is a Peck family.
Yep.
Well, John's got a date there. And then Mr. Peck and John's sister. I can't remember her first name.
Was John Peck your class for 67?
John Peck was 66. He lived at Arthur. He's deceased now. I don't know who the girl is.
That's mom or date?
No, it's a date. Probably what? Prom, maybe.
Prom?
Well, he's got a boutonniere.
Gary Brewer had John Peck. Marcia Knox says Joyce Peck and her dad on the left.
Okay.
I'd say you did pretty well in that one.
Thank you.
Oh, this is,
Oh, me. I don't
Go
know if
ahead.
we can handle this.
I'll give you the point on this.
No, you don't want to do that. On the far right, Sharon Copeland. Then get your classmate,
Carol Pierce,
your other classmate.
Sharon Rose,
Debbie Hackett.
Kathy Hope Bishop. Now, I'm going to give you somebody, I know who this is. I know who the guy with the beard is.
Seriously?
Brian Royer.
Brian Royer, class of 66.
Yep. I ought to get.
Now, how did you know that?
I ought to get 100 points.
How did you know that?
Well, look at him.
Well, no, he didn't have a beard. in high
No, but
school.
that's Brian Royer. I bet you. Look
Well,
it up.
yeah, you're probably right. Who knows?
I did.
This would drive me.
What do you mean? Who knows?
That reminds me when I went to Rock and Rodney's for a Halloween costume party one time, and I had on a full mask and clothes that weren't mine, borrowed from my dad, work boots and a jacket and whatever. I had a mask from one of the Hastings leftover Halloween parties. And I go up to the bar and Juanita says, "What do you have, David?" And I said, "How in the hell could you tell that it was me?" And she said, "I can see your eyes."
Look how beautiful girls were back then.
They were
All of
pretty
them.
girls.
All of them were
Yeah. Yeah. Good girls.
pretty. Carol Pierce married one of your decal buddies.
Oh, she married Tom.
Tom Pierce.
Oh, gosh.
I
Thought
call-
the world of him.
Yeah.
So just
It was
to
Alabama.
Sharon Copeland always remind me of a Southern belle. Should have been living on a plantation.
Alabama, I think. Yeah, she's Southern Belle.
Sharon Rose wound up being Sharon Cappy, head of nurses at Carroll, lives down the street on the corner.
Debbie's in Kansas.
Real estate, big, powerful real estate agent, I think, very
Yeah,
successful.
she is. Yeah.
Sharon,
Kathy married one of the nicest guys in the world,
One
Damon
of the best
Bishop.
guys in the
One of
world.
the best guys you ever want to find in the world. One of the Bishop boys.
Yeah.
Sharon, to recap, Sharon Cappy has from left to right, Kathy Hoke, Debbie Hackett, Sharon Rose, Carol Schroet, and Sharon Copeland.
Well, did anybody get Brian Royer?
No, Coronation Demolay Sweetheart Ball, February 1965.
Well, if nobody got Brian Royer, then Bill and I beat the world
You
again.
get, you get the point.
Oh, that's John
Far left, John Pendergrass.
Pendergrass. That's the
Oh,
Morrow girl, Janet Morrow, isn't it?
no, I don't. Well, it might be.
Janet Morrow
But I don't think it is. Barbara Clark.
and Pam Jensen.
This is Matt Leonard over there.
Yeah, is this
On
Pam?
the right.
Is this Pam Jensen?
That's Pam. I can tell the way she's standing there.
Mhm. Yeah, I think it's Janet Morrow.
Do you really?
Yeah,
John Pendergrass
good old John.
ended up in Kentucky, banker, I think.
Mhm.
I think Barbara Clark lives where? Effingham? Beck, do you know?
Did you get the girl on the right?
Well, we can barely see it. Can you slide it
No,
over?
not that far, the group of four.
Oh, Pam Jensen,
Okay.
Yeah,
Pam-
that's
Pam-
Pam,
Grover.
now McDowell.
McDowell.
now. But that's Matt Leonard there in the suit looking over this way.
Yeah,
Yeah, Matt just sent me a friend request the other day, so
Oh, he's a great guy.
good guy.
Buckner Street. I grew up on Buckner Street.
That's where
He's
Bill grew
still on
up.
it.
Bill grew up. I lived there for a while, down by Jack Allen. We ought to form a club, the Buckner Group.
That's, yeah.
well,
there-
I think he lived on Buckner when I knew him.
Yeah,
Are you sure that's Janet Morrow?
I would bet a nickel. Who do you think it is?
How do you think I saved all my nickels? I'm not betting you.
Wait a minute. Yeah. You squeeze a quarter till the eagle grins.
Bill, let's go with Bill. Let's go with nickel the buffalo pants for air.
They'll throw his dimes around like they're manhole covers. Okay.
You see, hey, Beck, you got to see his picture of Pam.
Yeah,
This is really good.
Jensen?
yeah.
Yeah, this is really good.
Oh, yeah.
That's something.
Do you think this is Janet Morrow?
I don't have any idea.
Remember John Pendergrass?
I know the name. He
Barbara
looks
Clark
familiar.
was in our class.
yeah.
She moved here somewhere in high school. I don't know. She's a nice
Yep.
girl.
Kathy Hanner says John Pendergast, Jan Jordan, ? Pam Jensen.
I said Jan Jordan, didn't I?
No,
No, you didn't. That's what. I didn't think that was Janet.
Now that is, now that I look at it. I will
You think
admit,
it's Jan Jordan?
it's Jan Jordan. I had a date with Jan Jordan, didn't even recognize her. She was like a freshman. I was a senior.
Gee, man,
She was a cute girl.
Well, I know. How many girls did you take?
Well, I did that touch feel thing, and
Yeah.
then I'd lose them after one
Oh,
day.
yeah.
He must have dated her in April because he was on to
Oh,
the
Jim Bailey dated her a little bit. She
He
was
was
just,
in April. He was into the J's, girls with
yeah. I
initials.
never dated
Oh,
Pam.
J.
Always liked Pam, but. Okay. Oh, boy, we
Class
got,
of 65.
well, and 60 on the
Wait a minute,
left,
we got some Newman here mixed
that's
in.
Appleby in the back,
That's Phil Appleby,
who married, your neighbor,
Pam Toman.
Pam Tolman. Your neighbor when you lived in Parkview, Jeff McMorris.
No, I think that's Lonnie Davidson
Oh, that
from
could,
Newman.
you know what?
I think
That does look like Lonnie
Jim Allison,
and Goose Rogers.
Goose.
And the girls are Pam Tolman,
Not Allison.
Jim Allison.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
No, that's Jim Allison.
Jim Allison.
First row is Pam Tolman. Go ahead.
That's Ann Hoke, June Edwards, and that's the Hauser,
Hauser
Alan
girl.
Hauser's sister.
Hauser, right.
Mhm.
And she was class of 64.
Yes, she was.
So we got some 64, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
June Edwards and Jim Allison both had the most beautiful voice. They won the music award. June sung at my first wedding song.
She did.
Yes. I
So
noticed Ann was crying, and I asked her later if she was moved by the song. She said no, she would just realize what a mistake she'd made.
Yeah.
Oh, Becky.
Oh, Becky. Phil Appleby. Is Pam still married to Phil?
Oh,
You know?
no, he's been dead for years.
So she's probably not.
Kathy Hanner says Phil Appleby, Lonnie Davidson says Newman boys, Jim. She said Allen, but that's Allison.
Allison.
Bob Rogers, front row, Pamela Toman McDonald, Ann Hope Clifford, June Edwards, ?
Hauser. What was her first name? She-
Well, I'm
Class of
trying to think.
64.
Class of 64, but it's Alan's sister, big
Right,
sister.
Right.
You know what? She was secretary at Phil Lamb's at the car dealership for years. And I can't think of her.
Oh, Janine?
Well,
Oh, Bill Blackwell from Arcola with Sharon Copeland. They were
oh yeah, man.
quite an item. I'll
They
let
were-
you do the other one.
They were an item. That's Dick Cromwell.
Dick Cromwell.
And
with-
that's Teeters, Carroll.
Dick Cromwell was class of 64.
Yeah.
Bill Blackwell was class 65 Arcola.
Mhm.
I lived with him over at Milliken. We played basketball together at Milliken. Bill's a great guy. Sharon was the belle of the ball, Southern. She moved outside. Didn't she look like she belonged to us in a plantation house down in Alabama? Or
I think
somewhere?
she made it.
I did. I think she did.
Yeah. I wonder what happened to Dick Cromwell.
Boy, he got in a fight once with John Beatty.
That was not a good idea.
Not a good idea.
I wonder if anyone wonders what happened to us.
Well, they're just keeping track of the dementia on a shark. The shark's just going down like that.
Did you guys get all the names?
Yes, we did.
We got him.
Okay.
Everybody get Dick Cromwell?
Carol Teeter's very pretty girl.
She was very pretty. She was the warriorette. She was the dancing
She
warrior.
was the
Did the
chief,
Illini.
the
chief.
Illini.
Did
thing.
everybody get Blackwell and Dick Cromwell?
No, Kathy Hanners tagged Bubba Humphreys, who said, thank you for tagging me. She thinks her date was Butch Hall, ? But I don't see Butch in this picture.
That's Richard Cromwell. And that's clearly because Blackwell dated Sharon for a couple of years.
And
What
Sharon
inspired him?
Carol Teeter's on the right, she thinks.
Yeah.
What inspired him to get in a fight with Beatty? I remember that happened. I mean, didn't he just
I think it was over
a girl?
Diane,
Oh, Diane
I
Moore.
think. Oh, boy.
Oh, guy on the right.
Stud Lichty.
Oh, look at that.
On the left, we have Jim Manwaring.
Class of 62, dating a girl from the class of 66.
Sharon March, Swampy.
Swampy. I was telling Becky about my date with Swampy over at Milliken. It didn't go well.
Touchy feel.
Well, a teak house. It was a teak house, and they told me it was going to be a Caribbean kind of beach thing. And so she wore a bikini, and I wore a beach. Walked inside, they're all dressed up. Sharon. That was my last day with Sharon. Guess who my date? That's me on the right. Guess who my date is there?
You know what? I wonder who your date is,
You know,
because I've
now-
not seen her.
Now, David,
Oh, I know.
I told you I dated everybody in Tuscola and most of the girls in Villa Grove, Arthur, and Newman. I even dated people from around the world. That is Helen Stacy from Perth, Australia. She was the exchange student at Villa Grove. I even tried going outside the United States. I did have about 3 dates with Helen. She was a great,
Oh,
sweet
man.
girl. But
Mm.
she was heading back to Australia and mom wouldn't let me go. Great gal. Villa Grove.
Although Homer said it's time for you to grow
Oh,
up, go
I-
ahead.
That's what your dad told you.
You may, yeah, on no certain terms.
They sent you to military school trying to get you there. Helen Stacy, and there is the Rose
Rose
family.
family. My goodness, I just saw Carol out in the yard this morning.
Bob on the right worked at I remember working at Four Seasons at the end of his career.
Well, he worked at the lumber yard.
That's right. And then Four Seasons.
Mhm.
Carol was the prom queen that year, and Sharon. And Carol over on the left was class of what, 63? 63?
He was with your sister,
63.
and she married Oscar.
Oscar
Zane.
Zane.
My neighbors for many years
Yeah.
now.
Harold ran the bakery and
Mm.
did
Oh, boy,
great guy, hardworking
Mhm.
guy, good guy.
great bakery.
There's Helen
This is that girl from
Helen-
Australia,
Perth, Australia.
asking the girl from class of 65.
I got a letter from her about 10, 20 years later from Helen.
Man, you must have
Girls,
impressed her.
girls felt very safe sending me letters. She was like, oh, there we go. There we go.
Oh, man, look at this. Is Matt Leonard sitting back there
Yeah.
with Sandy Stinson?
Yeah, that in the back.
Huh? Does that look like Sandy
Yeah.
Stinson?
In the front row is right, left, Tim
Tim
Lemna,
Lemna.
Martha Eisminger, Doug Carnine, and
Mardina,
Mardina Bridges.
Pete Jensen,
Over Mardina's corner is Goose Rogers, and over Doug Carnine's corner is Pete
Pete
Jensen.
Jensen,
And that looks like,
Townsend.
no, this guy
The
right
girl.
here, the girl's Townsend, but the guy right back there is Moore, lived down there on Buckner.
Mike?
Mike Moore, I think. Look at that. Is that Mike Moore?
Might be.
Drove a Barracuda in high school.
That girl at that angle looks like Sandy Stinson with
Tim went
that.
on to become Tim and I tied for last on the National Honor Society. They didn't know which one to leave off. Tim's a dentist, retired, lives out in Cape Cod. Mardina was a professor of English out at University of California.
Carnine's.
Davis. Carnine was the economic advisor to or education advisor to President Bush.
Martha was in my class,
Martha
as was Mardina.
And Martha was the valedictorian or salutatorian, wasn't she?
Who? Martha? She
Martha.
was salutatorian.
Look at old Pete back there.
Oh yeah, Pete, he's checking it out.
He's checking it out. That was
Yeah.
Pam Jensen's brother. And I don't know.
It says Don Gibson, maybe second row right.
No,
All right.
no, Donnie Gibson was too young.
This is that's probably class of 63 or 4 sitting behind.
Yeah, Don Gibson was class of about 69 or 6. Yeah, something like that. He was.
Aaron Cappy says Doug Carnine on left, Martha Isminger and Tim
Eisminger.
Eisminger. Tim looks mad, like he's ready to play some football.
He's tough. He's ready to go.
Center on football. He's a tough kid. Jim Limna's son, Mike and Tim and a daughter. There we go.
Oh, hey, this is my class. On the left, that's Sharon Green and John Bozarth. That's a nice picture. Now, who is this guy with the smile, Mike?
Well, the gal is Pam Preston, and she dated Pam Preston, and Pat Hayes dated Champagne Boys, and Pat Hayes wound up marrying Schwartzlows. I think that's Dwayne Albrecht.
I think so.
Albrecht.
I don't know.
It was a Champagne guy. Pam's a big realtor for Sotheby's down in Santa Fe, Mexico. Very successful. John's an architect, was in Panama City. We visited him.
Mm-hmm.
Great guy. All of them.
Sharon lived down on Carico, class of 66.
Burl. Her dad was Burl.
Yeah. Sister
There's
Marcia.
Fred Fair and
Jimmy Gay.
Jimmy Gay.
And that's Claus Schultz with Carol Warrens.
Carol Warrens.
So 3 of them are class of 66. Claus Schultz just celebrated his 55th wedding anniversary with his wife, Donna.
Fred Fair was sister.
Is.
Go ahead.
Well, go ahead.
He's uncle to Duff and Drew Hull.
Yeah.
Val Morgan.
Did
Val
you get
Fair.
everybody? Did you get everybody?
Yeah, we even got the fact there's a heart in the background and it's a building.
Yes.
We wanted to beat Rudy to that.
Oh, that's
the
Ruth
Slaughter.
Yeah, Ruth Slaughter. My goodness.
I wonder how many events she's played for.
She played for a lot of them. Wonderful.
Played at my first wedding.
Wonderful
gal, real public spirited.
And she played at your first wedding?
Yep.
I don't know, but is that the U.S. National Guard?
Well, it looks like it.
Militia.
Always worried about those guys carrying swords. Someone getting a little older.
Well, some of them I didn't
Well, this
trust.
was probably
Slice of deer.
LA
That's the commandery, right?
Yeah.
at the community building. So I beat you to that, Mike.
Well, that's a table lamp on her piano. Well,
I bet that's Brian Royer on the right.
I'm the only person in the world that knows that. You had to jump on it. Brian, we're on the right. Now see if you know who's on the left.
Well, I have no clue.
I don't either. Is that Tim Hole? No, that's an older guy.
Yeah, I think he's holding his daughter.
Kathy Hanner says Brian Royer on the right.
There you go.
Oh, boy.
Look at Mike gets 100 points.
Yeah.
And
It's the girl. Come on. This is
Carol Schroed says Alan Hall on the left.
oh
Question mark.
I don't know.
And then she says Ann Bateman.
Oh,
Don't know.
Mrs. Bateman's little girl.
Does that look like Al to you?
Well, he wore big black glasses at times.
but he looks a little belly. He was always in top shape.
Well, he's got this outfit on. I think it is Alan.
Wearing
Well,
a Chef Boyardee hat.
well, yeah, with Hebrew writing on it.
Mm-hmm.
That is
Russell Helm.
Russell Helm, investigator for the Fudge McCown and Frank Lincoln, part-time deputy sheriff, just one of the great guys in law enforcement. I think I told the story about how he cracked the Coslet murder case.
Mm-hmm.
They found a body out in Murdoch. Somebody found a body out in Murdoch, dug up in a cornfield. And they found it because one of the guys who was involved had overdosed on drugs and thought he was dying in the hospital, talking about a body they buried. And this is about a week or so after the death. So Russell said, "You've only got 24 hours to live. Get this off your chest, get right with God, and show us where the body is." And he took him out there. They dug up the body at night. They dug up Jack Coslet. He went back to the squad car, and the guy said, "How much time I got left?" He said, "Good news. You're not going to die." Just a common sense.
You've been cured. You had confessed, admitted this, and
Didn't you like Russell? Wasn't he a great guy?
yeah, he was a good fellow.
He loved old farm machinery when the old-fashioned days were here.
threshing machine.
Threshing machines. He'd take his steam threshing machine out there to the park and run it.
Yeah.
You recognize the other guy in the picture?
Well, let me see. A guy?
Yes, George Washington.
Oh, no, yeah, that's we said that.
Point to Bill.
You're in the courthouse. Bill gets a point for naming the most famous president in the world. Next. This is the courthouse, and I don't know if
That's an American flag.
Yeah, those are old courthouse chairs, and
many
there's
stars in the flag?
There's stuff on a table there. I'm trying to look at the. Oh, this is Harry. Is that Harry Little?
It's Harry Little.
Who's on the left?
I don't know.
Yeah, I was looking through the comments to see if anyone,
This Moose or Elks?
everybody had Harry Little. Says brotherly love. Could be Moose, could be Masons. I don't
We
know.
talked about it. There's a restaurant in the basement of the Hotel Douglas, Harry Little ran. Good little restaurant. I used to eat there before Friday night ball games sometimes when Mom was working at Carpenter's.
It always seemed dark and wet, like there should be insects.
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah, you would eat out there at Ira Jameson's pig stall.
Is that Elks?
Well, let me see.
Started there. It looks like the same light that was in the other
No.
picture.
Elks or Moose?
What
It might
what-
be the Elks.
It says Lodge.
Is that an unusual
Do it again.
tie? Have you looked at that?
Yeah, that's an unusual tie. That's called a tie fob.
Hmm.
Something Lodge number.
Well, I can't read that.
Boy,
Yeah,
barely. Look,
That's,
Bill wants to look at the tie a minute. That's called an economy tie. It's half price.
That is different. It looks like a ring hanging from the bottom.
it probably has something to do with the organization.
Harry was big in the Moose, I think, wasn't he?
Well, I can't
I
remember.
want to. I think this is Elks.
Or Elks.
Now, what we're recalling, I hope the audience understands, is next year, these pictures from 65 would be the 60 years old.
Yeah.
We also need to understand that until about 1968 or so, Tuscola was one of the last dry towns.
Mm.
And we had all of these clubs, Elks, Moose, all of them could serve liquor, but not public. So the clubs were really big.
That's David Porter.
That's it for this week.
Oh, good. You got right in the meat of Tuscola there in 65.
What time's your appointment?
He's got time.
I got time.
David,
Okay.
those are good pictures.
Check my email, see if they confirmed.
Boulder Grove paper, Jeff Holmes ran a big article like 30 years after of Helen Stacy. Somebody was down in Australia and saw her. Big article about her life and
They
everything.
talked to her and she asked about you.
She wondered how the big guy was doing.
There you go.
She said, how's Buttercup doing?
Well, Buttercup after raising his shirts. He's
Yeah,
got a few marks on him.
yeah. Memories.
Bukovich would tell you to get back in the game with that bruise. He didn't care.
Yeah, I remember when I got hurt running the hurdles down at Mattoon. They took me to the hospital and they gave me crutches and said, stay off your feet for about a month till this heals up. You got a real bad. We walk outside the hospital on crutches. Bucko said, give me those crutches. And he threw them over against the building. He says, you walk with me. That's crazy. So I like duck walked with him to the car. I thought they were sticking knives in my groin area where I ripped both of my muscles. Yeah, Bill was a self-healer. He was kind of a homeopathic guy.
Yeah.
Pain's all
Is
in
that
your-
what they called it?
He said, pain's all in your head. I said, yes, it is. And my head is really full of it right now, Coach.
Yeah.
That Coach was a tough guy.
Mm,
He didn't want any sissies around him.
Nope.
I've got a phone interview between 2 and 2:30, so I got time.
Well, I've got track practice. No.
Track practice? Doing the
golf
hurdles?
No, I was thinking golf practice at 3 today.
Well, David, thank you. These are wonderful shots. What do we got next week? You know yet?
I enjoyed those.
Don't know yet.
Yeah, you got us in the time period where we knew. most
Yeah,
of the
we
people.
knew a lot of people from that
Well,
area.
that's why I picked that time, but I'll probably try and pick something a little different next week.
Yeah, stretch us a little bit.
Yeah.
The world will start beating
Make
us.
us work.
Yeah, if you go into if you go back in the 80s or 90s, the world will beat us. If you go back in the 20s, we could probably beat the world in the 20s, 30s.
You know what? We should have Becky and a girl from the class of 65 try to identify the pictures first.
Yeah, right.
Who do we get from class 65, girl?
Well, I don't know. We've got girls here in
Carol
town.
Pierce. Oh, Sharon.
We got Sharon, Rose. We got, who else is here? 65.
Well, you're doing Zoom, so Carol Pierce can get on it.
Well, you could. Yeah. That'd be fun. See how well they would do
Under pressure.
under pressure.
It's easy.
At the
It's
time.
easy. It's easy to stare at a photo when nobody's around, but when you're live and you're
Right.
making a fool of yourself.
All right. Well, we'll see what we come up with for next week. So we'll see you next week.
Thanks,
Okay.
David.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks,
And
folks,
thanks
for
to our
watching.
sponsor, Elite
Sponsors.
Our
Elite
sponsor, this
Builders. Elite Builders.
Thank you, Elite Builders.
Yeah, thanks very much.
All right. We'll see you.